Moved multiple hours away from my partner. I spent nearly all my savings. I furnished our apartment. And 1 month later, they dumped me the day before my first day at a new job. So when my ex suddenly lost their home internet, yeah, that part was on me. B. Setup context 30 to 45 seconds. Who's involved? What's normal? Why we should care. Hey Reddit, or YouTube, wherever you're listening from. This isn't what I normally post, but I needed somewhere to put this story because it still feels unreal looking back. I'm a 22-year-old woman, and this was my first serious relationship. 4 years long. My first love. The kind of relationship where you genuinely believe, this is my forever person. My ex, I'll call them Cedar, they're 22 and non-binary, and I met online through a mutual friend. We bonded over the same games, the same shows, the same humor. It felt easy, safe, like something I could build a life around. Despite social anxiety on both sides, awkward family interactions, and general growing pains, we made it work. And more importantly, I wanted to make it work. Why this relationship mattered, what was on the line. Eventually, Cedar started talking about moving out of state for college and better job opportunities. And every single time they talked about it, it was, we. When we move, our apartment, living together full time, they even put my name on the lease. I paid for the internet. We planned our future. I genuinely believed we were starting our adult lives together. A month before the move, I started working extra shifts at my dead-end job to save money. That meant we barely saw each other. Calls became rare. Texts felt dry. At the same time, Cedar started spending a lot of time with a mutual friend, I'll call him Tommy, 22. I didn't panic. I didn't accuse. I trusted my partner. When I finally said I felt left out, I was told, that's just life right now. Things will be better once we move. When I admitted I felt insecure, like I was giving more love than I was getting, the answer was basically, stick it out. So I did. The emotional turning point. We move. Multiple hours away. Everything I own packed into a car. I provide most of the furniture, couch, table, bookshelf, kitchen supplies. I spend most of my savings on groceries, household items, and setting up a life. After a month of job searching, I land a pharmacy job I'm genuinely excited about. I tell my entire family. Everyone knows I've moved. Everyone knows I'm starting fresh. And then, the day before my first day of work, Cedar sits me down. They tell me they can't see a future living together full time. Then comes the line that still hurts the most. They'd been unsure about our relationship for 6 months. 6 months before we moved. 6 months they said nothing. They offered to let me stay in the apartment, as long as I needed. But I was hours away from anyone I knew. Alone. Broke. Blindsided. My mom drove out immediately. We packed whatever we could fit in the car. I left behind furniture, belongings, pieces of a life I thought I was building. Consequences, isolation, and hurt. I moved back home, fast. Not entirely by choice. My parents are extremely controlling and deeply religious. I'm financially dependent. Staying wasn't an option without risking being cut off completely. And once I was home, things got worse. Jobs in my town weren't hiring. Money was tight. I was paying my parents more than I could afford because my dad wasn't working. Emotionally, I cut everyone off. Blocked Cedar. Blocked friends who stayed neutral, including Tommy. I focused on surviving. It took about 2 months before I could breathe again. The moment of justice. One day, out of pure coincidence, I logged into a private Instagram account I hadn't used since high school. The very first post on my timeline. Cedar and Tommy. Together. Official. The caption said, "Everything to me." They started dating 1 week after our breakup. At that point, everything clicked. The emotional distance. The sudden closeness with Tommy. The 6 months of uncertainty. Now here's where the revenge comes in. I was the one who set up the home internet at our apartment. My name, my email, my phone number. I never transferred the account. One afternoon, I received multiple emails in a row, pin requests. Which means Cedar was on the phone with Verizon, trying and failing to access the account. They never contacted me, so I stayed silent, and shortly after, I got the confirmation email. The internet service was fully cancelled. The router had to be returned. Petty. Absolutely. Minor. Totally. But knowing that they, and Tommy, were stuck trying to figure out a new internet plan in an apartment with terrible cell service. That felt like closure. Lessons, karma, perspective. I don't believe revenge fixes everything. It didn't erase the pain or the betrayal. But sometimes, justice doesn't need to be loud. It just needs to be fair. And honestly, canceling that internet felt like finally taking something back. Clear CTA. If this story hit home for you, or if you've ever experienced quiet, satisfying karma, hit that like button. Tell us in the comments. What's the pettiest revenge you've ever witnessed, or secretly enjoyed? And if you want more real stories like this, don't forget to subscribe, because sometimes, the smallest victories feel the best.